What's going on? It's your boy Blue Weeds back at it with another installment of the Between the Buns podcast. Did y'all miss us? What up, Hype? What you doing, man?
What up, baby? Hey, man, it's been a long time, my brother. Good to see you again, man. I'm good.
Yeah,
It's really
likewise.
good. I'm happy to be back, man. Happy to be in your presence.
Likewise, man. I know you've been on the road traveling. I know I've had a lot of family things going on. Nothing to be alarmed of, but we're both family people. We're both dads. We both got little ones. So we're going through that whole notion. And you travel for work and I got kids at home and all that. So I'm happy to be back with you tapping in on the pod, man. If y'all are listening, hopefully you're listening on Spotify. Thank you for tapping in with us. Episode 19. Hopefully you're subscribed, following us on the social media platforms of Instagram and TikTok and YouTube for the visual, Podchasers, Apple Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. But without further ado, let's get into it, my guy.
Man, so look, man, I just want to kick this thing off, man. I know I'm so late, so far behind on this, man, but I'm riding off of the high of a first. Your boy, even though I lived in the Orlando area for almost 5 years, I never went to Disney ever. So this past weekend, I had a kid-free weekend. Me and the wifey, we hit up Epcot. And man, I gotta say, man, I see what the buzz is about. I see what the hype is about. Man, first things first, I gotta say this. We kicked the thing off. We went to Guardians of the Galaxy. Now,
Okay.
you know I'm trying to tap into that whole Marvel fandom too. So like I just
Yep.
watched them in neurological or what is it, chronological order? I don't know,
Chronological.
chronological order. And so Guardians of the Galaxy, it was one of those ones that I wasn't really feeling at the beginning, but I see now, like as I like really gave it a chance, it has the most adult humor. So rocking with it. So anyway, first things first, we jumped into the line, man. Got in that thing. Best ride I have been on maybe in my entire life. I'm
No
not
way.
even kidding. I'm not even
Entire
kidding,
life? I understand
bro.
just
My
Disney, but entire life?
my entire life. All the roller coasters I've ever been on, which granted, for context, I haven't been on that many in my adult years. So
Okay.
there's that. But what I will say is maybe it's just the newness, the thrill of being on one. You know, it just kind of lit a fire under me, like just hit that adrenaline rush that I had been lacking for so many years because I haven't been on anything like that. Man, it was incredible, man. From the music. One thing that I will say about Epcot and Disney, they check every single box as far as hitting all those senses, man, from the smells to the visuals to the 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 audio experience, man. It was just really, really incredible, man. That was an amazing ride. So we started off really, really hot. So like my adrenaline was flowing, my juices was flowing, like everything was at a 10 from the jump. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then one thing that, the reason why I actually agreed to do this with my wife was, of course, drinking and eating around the world. Like to me, I was like, what other reason is there to go to Disney? You know what I mean? So I need to
Yeah.
give I will say this before I get into context on how amazing drinking and eating around the world is. Um, I will say that this kind of opened up or cracked the door for me to like to be intrigued, a little bit intrigued to go to all the other parks. I'll say that. So I'm
Okay.
already in my mind. Already in my mind thinking about the next trips for sure.
That's good that you had your experience at Epcot. You did it with your wife. You did it as an adult.
Yeah,
So you got experience around the world. I will definitely say, in my opinion, I think Epcot is catered to adults for
for
that
sure.
exact reason versus the other parks. Animal Kingdom will definitely be more of a focus on bringing your kids. Definitely Magic Kingdom. I haven't been to Hollywood Studios since they've added some new things to it, but you've had a good first experience. Let me ask you this: in what range did you spend on finances for drinking around the world? Because there's always like a good 200, 300, maybe $400 range, depending on how much you drink in each country.
So you know me. You know me.
I do. That's why I asked the question.
So let's just say this. I'm not I glanced at my bank account today. And then I like immediately went checked over to the joint account. And I was like, let me pull a little more funds over here just so I don't feel as busted for the next 2 weeks. Cause me and my wife, we're also trying to like do some strategic budgeting.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just got to a point where we were just like, all right, let's treat this as our anniversary 2.0. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
we enjoyed ourselves. And then also like
Happy anniversary, by the way.
appreciate it, man. We linked up with a couple that we met randomly on an excursion on a cruise ship out of Port Canaveral last year.
Okay.
So like this random couple in Ohio, I swear to God, bro. And they were coming to Disney. They're avid Disney goers. They typically bring their family, their kids, or whatever. And so, like, man, we just linked up with them for the day. I got a hotel, and we just balled out, man. But I would say, just to answer your question, I probably dropped a good 3.5 to 4 skunnet somewhere around
That
there.
sounds about right. That
Yeah,
sounds exactly what I expected. So that's why I was like, let me ask. Because, most cases, some people get more than one drink, which is not the best thing to do from what I read. But, all those countries, each drink varies, you're mixing. So, and then you're walking and it's hot depending on the weather. So that always causes the imbalance. But you did it smart by staying somewhere close by at a hotel. And you did it in a group. So it's even better because it's always good to do it in a group. I know my wife has a group of friends that goes all the time and they get the tattoo on the forearm to check off each country.
yeah,
And I asked them, next time y'all do this, please invite us because this is on our bucket list. Because the last time we did Epcot, I used to work at a Disney hotel and I got a ticket for myself and a plus one. It was always usually my wife. So we would go and we just went to experience the park. And my wife's not much of a drinker. So I wasn't going to be drinking around the world by myself. So she said the next time she would gear up for it. And then the last time I went to Disney was with the kids for a birthday because we wanted to introduce him to Disney as he got older to remember it. So we did Magic Kingdom 2 years ago, and then we did Animal Kingdom with last year with him and my second son because my daughter's just too young to really embrace it. So that's when we did it. So now we're thinking of Hollywood Studios next year, maybe sometime this summer, to check it out because he's really getting into Toy Story and Star Wars. So he would find more appreciation to that.
for sure. Animal Kingdom is probably going to be our next one. I think that's the one that I would be the most intrigued by. And then that'll give my 2-year-old a little grace period to level up and be able to really submerge herself in the experience. And I think she'll be able to recall some of the, experiences that she witnesses. So, but yeah, man. And bro, like there's another ride I actually need to talk on, man. Soaring. Soaring was incredible.
Oh yeah, I saw you do that. That ride is usually the longest line. That was prior to Guardians of the Galaxy being open,
That was
but that
right
was the
after.
most popular ride.
So we added that in the Lightning Pass. So we added that and another 2 or 3. But yeah, man, that was cool, man. Like even when it like I said, like Disney really checks all the boxes when it comes to submerging yourself into the experience itself. So not only did you feel like you're gliding over the region of the world that you're in, but like for example, the safari, we're we're flying over elephants. You could literally smell like that grass, like freshly cut grass, and almost a little bit of poo. A little bit of poo.
I was
Like it
gonna
smelled
say it ain't too authentic. You don't smell no turds.
it smelled like the zoo. It smelled like the zoo, man.
Okay,
I was like, they really took their time with this, man. So I was really impressed, man. So
that's one of the
overall, man,
longest. That's one of the longest existing rides at Epcot because I remember that being there as a kid, and to this day I've never ridden it.
oh, you gotta do that one. You gotta do that one. You 1000% gotta drink around the world.
Yeah,
My
it's on my
advice
bucket list to do.
my advice is when you do it, don't just get a little. I think there's like some rules of thumb or rules of engagement where people say start in Mexico, blah blah blah. I would actually encourage you to just hit a little shuffle around when there's a certain food that you just absolutely want, go for it. But a lot of times, those little in between pavilions, they have the best bang for your buck as far as like alcoholic beverages.
Yeah,
Because you got to look at the each country, man. They're not pouring the way I would like for them to,
oh, of
and then
course not.
they're just a bunch of frou drinks. A lot of times
Yeah,
because they're
yeah,
catering to the masses. So like I found that when I went with the beer option, uh, it was either like $9 for like literally it felt like a shot of beer, which I wasn't impressed with. Um, or
I
then
would.
I would pay $14, 14.50 for a liquor drink, and it was just nowhere near what my taste buds would actually like to consume. So I would actually do a little more strategic purchasing and just predicate all your moves on the food itself. And then
Yeah.
when you see specific beers or drinks that you just want to try, then like for those.
Okay, that's good to know. I know if I were to go with a certain group, they're well tenured in it. And maybe last year we stayed at a house not too far from Disney. So something I'm thinking about is maybe we stay, like we rent this house and just Uber there, then Uber back, because there's no way in hell I'm driving home or even attempting to after that.
Yeah, or just find a decent hotel where you can park your car there and
Yeah, that'd be
Uber.
the smartest thing to do. But something else we want to talk about is you tried some TikTok snack of some crabs
Oh,
that
I
I've
didn't
never
know if
seen
you saw that.
before.
I
And
wanted
I
to
saw
touch
it.
on it.
I commented. I was like, well,
Yeah,
okay,
that's
like,
right.
look at you
I
getting
didn't
all
know if we were gonna
reactive.
talk about it on this.
Oh, we might as well, bro, because I commented on it, and the fact that you did a reaction to something outside of a burger, I had to chime in. And then
Yeah.
you want to be Mr. Friendly, handing out snacks to strangers and people. I'm like, look at Mr. Rogers here, sitting on this dumpster, giving out them some dusty crab snacks.
Hey, look, I dropped that little clip that you saw on TikTok, and some random person, I don't know who he was or she, he looked like a guy, but he was like, he's like, man, this man over here giving away the crab snacks because they trash as hell. I was like, low key, that's how I was feeling. But I
Yeah,
really just wanted to genuinely see other people's reaction to that because it was unlike anything I was prepared for.
yeah.
Unlike anything I was prepared for. It was crazy.
And
So
you remind, when you that statement, you remind me of that Geico commercial where it's like when you try some bad things, you want other people to taste it. Where it's the raccoons handing out trash to each other, like, it tastes bad, try it. No, why would I try it? Because I want you to try it, and it's really trash. So they're just like, you want people to feel the same sentiment as you. So I didn't
yeah,
want to put that in the comment, but I was just like, all right, I see you, Mr. Rogers.
look, man, that crab snack, uh, I get why it went viral because it's extremely unique. So what I didn't know and I wasn't aware of, that's actually a candy. So it
Mm,
was a sweet coating on it, although it was red. So I'm thinking spice. So I was like, if you get past the looks, which I had enough liquid courage from drinking around the world to where I was like prepared for the texture and the look. So once I saw it, I was like, oh, I'm doing this. I'm throwing a video up right now. Boom, let's go. And like you saw, like I was eating trash on top of a trash can. Those trash cans, by the way, shout out to Epcot because they were cleaned immaculately. Every single stop that me and my crew had, we had all our drinks posted up there as we like all like just divvied out our food and like checked it out. But man, those crabs, it was the most, it just hits you with that initial sweetness. And then it's the most extreme fishy flavor I've ever experienced in my life. It's a outlier experience. I don't want to ruin it for anybody, but if you're curious, go for it. But me, man, I got a video of my daughter like even looking at them.
yep,
She was
I
like,
saw that. I
she was
saw
like,
that. I thought it
I
was
don't
cute.
want it.
Funny.
Yeah. She was like, no, thank you, daddy. But it was interesting, man. But I just felt like I had to give back to the people, man, because I wasn't about to eat that whole bag by myself, dog.
Hey, if it was tasting the suspect as you described it, I don't blame you for sharing it with the people.
It's worth a try, though. You should try it. I'll send you a bag.
if
I'll
I
send you what's left of the bag.
Okay, much appreciated. um, I'm glad that you had your. I'm glad you had a good Disney experience overall.
Yeah,
That's what it's for. You always want to have a good time, especially dealing with especially when you're dealing with tourists. I feel like for me, when I go to Disney, I'm immediately irritated, and that's because I've been around this growing up and worked around it, being in hospitality for a few years, and you see the good people, you see the snobby people, you see the rotten people, you see the holy people, and so it's like when I go there, I'm already on guard because you deal with people. I feel like you deal with a lot of entitlement, but at the same time,
mhm.
you have those people that are like, hey, wholesome people, because people drop bands and life savings to experience this, and then use their kids as scapegoats for it, but they're really doing it for themselves. But I'm glad you all enjoyed your time. I saw you break your ankle being Prince Charming in that photo too, by the way. But hey, I see you still here, holding on strong.
I'm a little sore, but I'm mobile. I'm still moving.
You got to put that in the story for context and Instagram story so people understand.
Yeah, I'll throw it in the shit in the stories. It
But
wasn't pretty.
you brought up a topic that I feel like is pretty well popular, and any time for anyone, whether you're a foodie, whether you're just anybody going to get something to eat, let alone get something to drink. Um, you brought up a topic about what's the benchmark when returning food at any establishment. Can you tell me what made you come up with this? Because was it something that you experienced recently, or what made you want to bring up this topic?
1000%. So, you know, I've been in group gatherings where, there's these ongoing jokes where like the girlfriend or the wife, or maybe just even the boyfriend or the husband, like one particular person in that relationship, they don't give no F's. Like they'll go straight to the server, bartender, whatever the case may be. And they're like, "Hey, look, you messed up my order, or you messed up my boyfriend or my girlfriend or my wife or husband's order. You need to get it right."
Mhm.
I've just never been that person, man. And I don't know if maybe it came from me being married to someone that worked in the hospitality industries. So like now, like I'm like hyper aware of like all the things that they go through and how people try to like penalize the server for something that the cook in the back of the house may have done. So me personally, I just experienced that to where I literally had just some gentlemen to the right of me and they saw me get a burger and they were like, "Oh, I've been waiting for somebody to order that because I just want to see it." So they see it and I'm looking at it and I'm really just hungry. So I wasn't even like observing it to the point where I like critique the fact that it was missing so many things. Not to mention it came like super late. So I was just like, whatever. I'm a patient guy. But the fries were like ice cold, ice cold. And so that was the first thing I told him when the gentleman asked me about this. And these are random strangers, by the way, right? And then they were like, "Where's the brisket on this?" And I was like, "Oh, maybe it's incorporated into the beef." And they were like, "I don't know." This guy, like low key, like just tells the bartender, "I think he got the wrong thing." I wasn't about to say nothing, but I'm eating those cold fries, and also, what I'm doing it the whole time. So like, I'm getting footage. If it
Yeah.
wasn't for him, I would have already took a bite, been charged the premium price for like what wasn't exactly what I paid for. But my question to you, like, what does it take to like stir you up? Now, there's certain things that I feel like maybe I would maybe like speak up on, but I think I'm really, really, really patient when it comes to it. So I just want to hear your take on it, man. Like, what does it take for you to like just kind of say, "Hey, this is the last straw. We gotta make this right."
It's very straight cut with me. It's one of two things. One, if the food is especially if it's like white meat, like pork, chicken, fish, if it's raw in the middle, like if I'm getting chicken wings and it's still pink blood in the middle, I don't want another batch. Just take it. I'm done. I don't really care too much about if it's red meat because it's red meat. So it's like, okay,
Yeah,
if I get it medium and rare, okay, I'll be fine. I don't mind. I don't mind a little blood in my meat. I like the heartbeat to beat a little bit.
I
Pause.
agree with that. I agree with that though.
So I want to be elaborate on what I mean by that because red meat is different. But another one is anything from the body. If I see a nail, a hair, something that's from your body in the food, I'm sending it back. I went to a breakfast place with my wife a while ago and my daughter, and I got chicken and waffles. And it wasn't nothing immaculate, but standard chicken and waffles, some chicken tenders, a whole waffle. Okay, cool. Get that thing nice and buttered, syrup up, cut it up, eat the chicken. Chicken's good, it's tender, it's crisp. I get into the waffle and I just feel a strand like this long of hair. And it's like weed within the waffle. So I'm literally just pulling it out the waffle. And my wife's just looking at me across the table and I'm just like, I'm just trying to see how long it is. And I pull it out and I lay it down and I call the server and I was like, hey, I found this on my waffle. Can you please take it back? They apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. Can we get you anything else to be on the house? And I'm like, it's okay. I'll just drink my cup of coffee. And I'll just let my wife finish. Like, that's
Man.
really it. That's really it. Like, if I see a nail, if I see your hair, it's a wrap. I don't want it.
And look, Trav, like low key, the whole time I'm so self-conscious about like even this random stranger like doing that for me, which I was thankful because they brought it back and it was loaded with jalapenos, loaded with brisket. And I'm like, oh, so this was, I thought it should have been that. I saw a few jalapenos. I didn't see any brisket. So I'm thinking maybe it was ground brisket in the beef. So I'm thinking like, okay. You know what I mean? It was a simple like what I thought it was. But then when it was brought back, bro, the whole time I was thinking like, they're spitting in my shit. Not to mention, I'll say this: the general manager had came out and he knew the guy to the right of me somehow. Then I later found out like that guy like was an investor in some food chain.
Oh, wow.
So he did that for me without me asking, right?
Yeah.
But the general manager that had came out and talked to him was like, man, I had like 3 cooks, no call, no show. So I'm thinking like,
wow.
these are like these are people that shouldn't be cooking.
The dishwashers.
Yeah. I'm like
backups from wherever they need to be.
I'm thinking to myself, you piss them off, they spitting in my stuff. They spitting in my shit.
Yeah, that's why I don't want nothing back. Once I send it back, I'm like, I don't even want nothing now because it may not be the same or it may have a little extra that I didn't ask for.
Trav, like sometimes I intermittent fast during a work day. This was a work day.
Oh, so you were starving.
It was the first meal of the day, and it was like 4.
Oh, man. I know that feeling, too. I know that feeling.
I was
do
like,
the same thing, so I know exactly how you feel.
I literally looked at them dudes. I was like, look, bro, I don't really care. I don't really care, bro. I'm trying to smash. That's it. Yeah.
But I'm glad you brought this topic up because I saw a video today and I was going to share it on the pod, but I'm going to tell you it as best as I can because I want you to have I want to get your raw reaction. So there is a video of this couple. I'm not going to get into race or whatever, but I'm going to get into just the scenario. So this couple goes into an establishment and the owner comes out and one of the couples is recording this owner and he says, so you have a $130 tab and because you don't like the food, you don't want to pay your tab. And he's announcing this to the entire restaurant. So all the guests are hearing this. They're like, these two ordered $130 worth of food and they don't want to pay it because they didn't like it. And he's like, you need to leave. And they're like, why do we need to leave? We ordered a pork chop and it's hard as a rock. It's hard as bricks. We didn't eat it. We just asked you to send it back. So why do we have to pay for something we didn't like? So the owner was trying to defend the food, but when they saw the food and they tested it, the patrons were right. So what is your thought on that? Because my first thought is the couple isn't wrong. They shouldn't have to pay for something that they didn't eat. If you order a pork chop and it's brick, like hard as rock, and you say, listen, this is not the way I want it, or just anything like you and your wife.
Can I say this?
Go ahead.
Without even you made clarity that you weren't going to specify race. Is it crazy that even without that disclosure, I automatically know what race they were that weren't deemed that opportunity to have a oofed up meal. Is that crazy?
No,
I didn't think so. I know you
to
didn't.
me it's not. To me it's not. But to
Yeah, yeah,
anybody
of
else
course.
listening that may not be, it may be. How would you know?
So
Because we can play a guess what race it is, but I don't think we need to go that far.
no, let's not do that. But uh, you know, at the end of the day, man, and it's so tough, man, because I know there's a lot of people out there that try to get over on restaurants. Their
Yes.
whole thought process is how they can finesse the system,
Oh, I've seen
secure
it.
free food. Yeah, man, we all know that's the thing. Um, especially given the fact that like I'm going to create content around the food that I'm gonna consume. I automatically I was just in Columbus, Ohio, and this is just a quick little side note. The manager is like this extremely charismatic, like goofy, crazy, funny guy, man. And I like introduced myself. I was like, bro, like I saw you on the social media page. Like you're one of the reasons why I pulled up, man. Like I told him who I was, what I do. I was here for work, but I was like, man, I just wanted to dap you up because he had actually came to serve me anyway. So
Okay.
and I'm sitting at the bar. So my man was like, well, your food is gonna be free. I was like, nope, that's not how it's gonna work. I'm paying for my food. Not only am I paying for my food, I'm tipping based on the fact on the muscle. Like you dope as hell, and I gotta show love. So period. That's how we rock. So my man was like, he kept being cool like the entire like situation. But like I just think about all the scenarios where people literally go in and they like can anticipate free or they're trying to finesse their way to free.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I do think there's a particular race that has a negative stigma around them that doesn't
Mm-hmm.
hold true. It doesn't hold true because, like, matter of fact, I'm going to side note it. I just seen a video and it was about Crackle Barrel and this Cracker Barrel. Is it Crackle Barrel or
It's
Cracker?
Cracker Barrel.
Is it?
Yeah, it's Cracker Barrel.
Okay, that makes sense. I think it's Crackle.
It's Cracker, bro. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And maybe okay, you're right. Uh, so
I'm like,
anyway,
this is not a debate. It is Cracker Barrel.
all right, bet. So anyway, like the lady was like getting recorded with like some of the meta glasses, and she was like, "Oh,
Mm.
we got a code word that we use when a certain demographic enters our establishment." So anyway, I'll say this, man. Like that's a crazy video. Um,
Oh
I don't
man.
think it's right. I don't think those things hold true. But
I
I
don't mean
want
to
to hear.
laugh at that, but I'm just thinking of all the skits that can be made off of that video alone because I thought of some too. But
Yeah, I want to hear
but
your ultimate because you've seen the video. I want to know what your ultimate take is, bro.
so my ultimate take of it was the owner was wrong because
Of
he was
course.
wrong in the case of announcing out the business of that couple to the entire restaurant. He didn't have to do that at all. If you're really displeased with what they're doing, you can talk to them at the table about it. But he literally announced it to all of the guests within the restaurant. So that's where
And
I
that
say
was
he was wrong.
intentional. That's
It well,
100%
well, yeah,
intentional.
absolutely intentional.
Yeah.
And even when he was found out to be wrong, he didn't apologize. So that just tells you another answer
Were they
about
already gone, or did they stay in the
no,
establishment?
they were still in the booth, sitting down, because her husband was a disabled veteran, and I mean that has no application to what happened, but that's just something that was said because they even admitted, yes, we spend this amount of money whenever we visit any establishment, and we always pay it, but we pay for what we actually eat. You know what I mean? I've seen people return food or say they don't like the food and half of it's eaten, or I've seen people at Publix return a cake when half of it's eaten, saying we didn't like it. So in this case, If I took a bite of the food, don't like it, maybe take a second bite thinking maybe something was wrong, maybe that first bite was off, that's different. I've sent food back because it just didn't taste good. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, I just don't like it. And as long as it's off my tab, I don't care. So I think in this case, the restaurant owner was wrong. And, if the guests didn't like what they had, if they didn't need it, they should have just gotten their money back. And that was that. If I find the video, I'm going to put it in the IG story and have a link so people can see it. But I know I saw it today. I just couldn't find it whenever coming up with the.
Yeah, I really want to see it just for better context.
Yeah,
but I
sure.
agree with you. I think those people, especially the fact that I'm assuming this is the general manager or the head chef. The head chef wouldn't come out to address that. It would be the general manager.
Chef. He was a manager for sure. The way he looks, he was not a chef.
He 1000% should give those people a sincere apology. And I think it should take it a step further and offer them way more. I don't know, man. Because doing that, man, trying to stun on people in public, that ain't cool. Because, truth be told, a lot of people like me that don't do it, I could stun on a lot of restaurants and I never do it. So when people get a little too big for their britches, man, they need to mind the business that they keep, man, and just realize that you may think that you're living this holier than thou life and this establishment is doing top numbers for a reason, but sometimes people are just being super polite. And
yeah,
what I got to say about that.
Yeah, I mean that's how I feel about it. So anybody listening in, y'all tap in, y'all say what you want to say, y'all leave a comment on how you feel about it. And if you know what video I'm talking about, state your perspective. But I'm going to look for a link to post so people can see the video.
If anybody's watching,
I know I saw it today, so I was like, I got to find it to show it so you have the same visual I saw, so you get the whole picture.
Yeah, when this video drops, man, if I don't have it, you guys share this in the comments, DM me. DM the Between the Buns podcast on IG or drop the link on YouTube. Let me know. I want to see it for myself. I got to find this out.
Yeah, for sure. But with that being said, we're about to wrap up episode 19 of the Between the Buns podcast. Thank y'all so much for listening. If y'all have made it this far into the video or the audio, make sure you follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, follow Hype Beast Burger, follow Baloo Eats. Y'all probably saw those comic book covers created today thanks to Chat GPT. Figured that'd be a dope way to reel everybody back into the pod and get everybody excited for future episodes to drop. You got anything else to say, my guy?
No, other than those artworks were amazing. Shout out to you, bro. They were dope.
Thank you.
Really cool.
Thank you. Appreciate that. I can't take credit for making them.
Oh my God, I love these. She shared them on her page too.
Yeah, I did see that she shared it. I thought that was dope. So I'm actually having a little spree of making some of the foodies of mine. So they got a little version of theirs to post on there. So I'm working on that just on the side. But anybody else listening in, thank y'all. Stay tuned for the next episode for episode 20. 20 episodes in coming soon.
Let's go.
Signing out.
Peace.